Greetings to all of my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. Sling Driver once again, bringing you video number 2 in my 4-video series of my Zelos State of the Collection. My first video dealt with my favorite lineup of Zelos watches. That was the ZX chronograph series. Hope you enjoyed that video. The next video deals with my Hammerheads. I think one of the best known of the earlier, quote unquote earlier ZX lineups was the Hammerhead series. This is, in my opinion, the series of the Zelos watches where Zelos really made its bones and, pardon me, broke away from the rest of the micro brand universe out there. It was a different design. It was a unique design. And I would argue through 3 generations of Zelos Hammerhead, pardon me again, a timeless design. Now, I have examples of all 3 Hammerhead generations. I have 3 Gen 1s, I have 2 Generation 2s, and I have 3 Generation 3s. This lineup also includes the first Zelos that I ever purchased, which was, right now, as I think about it, a long time ago. And that was all thanks to my favorite Croatian. That is my good buddy Davor. Shout out to Davor. He has his own YouTube channel, and great guy. Speaks better English than I do Croatian, that's for damn sure. He had one of these watches, and actually one of these as well, and turned me on to Zelos, and the rest is history. I mean, buying one Zelos, it's like trying to eat one Lay's potato chip. You can't only eat one. And also, all of these watches have their own individual videos on my YouTube channel. So if you say wanted to learn more about this guy here, all you would have to do is go on to my YouTube channel, or you're already on my YouTube channel, and just search for the Hammerhead videos and pick out this one and watch it to get more detailed information, considering these State of the Collection videos are just overviews. But starting with the first generation, these are the 1,000-meter capable dive watches. This one is the very first Zelos I ever bought. Bronze case, and it came with either a Horween leather strap or a canvas top leather bottom strap, but I later on added one of the Zelos Universal Fit bronze bracelets, which matches up with this watch very nicely, considering they're both very chunky things. This is the Hammerhead Meteorite. Beautiful artwork on the back of a couple of Hammerhead sharks. Big, heavy-duty loomed bezel, bronze bezel, no insert, just all bronze. Lines up very nicely. Watch is, I think this watch is like 6 years old or so. I've had it for 6 years. It's running beautifully, and that meteorite dial looks as stunning now as when I first bought it. And of course, you have the classic faceted Hammerhead case, and the patina that this watch has acquired, being that it spent all its life in the state of Florida, is absolutely beautiful. My first Zelos, and love it now just as much as when I first opened the box up. Another first generation Zelos bronze is what's known as the 688. Now, I mentioned in my last video that Zelos is known for doing military-themed watches. Now, this was one of the first ones to do that. This was the 688. Now, I don't know how Elshin managed to do it, but he managed to acquire metal from the decommissioned and scrapped USS Los Angeles nuclear attack submarine. This is a submarine designed to hunt and kill other submarines. And its sail number, its Navy designation number was 688. Hence and it was the first of its class, the Los Angeles class or the 688 class if you prefer. But the dial metal is from the USS Los Angeles. And instead of having a hammerhead shark on the back, it has a broaching submarine on the back. Otherwise, it's identical to this watch in terms of movement and construction and so on. Beautiful bezel action, even though it's 6 or 7 years old. It just works nicely. Slight differences in the, well, no, there are not really any differences in the bezel. I thought there was, but that was an optical delusion. Anyway, a good friend of mine named George, who's in my Celine Club that I belong to, Celine Club of America, is an old boomer. Those are the missile boats. He was crewed on a boomer. I don't remember which one. Every time I wear this watch, I think of my buddy George and the service that he gave to his country. My last first generation Hammerhead is this very rare, comparatively. I think there were only 50 of these. Very rare stainless steel Hammerhead with the stainless steel bracelet and the Damascus bezel insert. Obviously no good as a diver because it doesn't have the indices on it, but very unique in the fact that you have the Damascus insert, which adds to this watch. This was actually the second Zelos I ever bought. So I have the first and second Zelos I ever bought. Moving on to Generation 2, there wasn't a lot of difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2 in terms of the case size or capabilities or anything like that. It's just a slight refinement to the original. I mean, you can look at the stainless steel of this one versus the Gen 2. You can see the fastening is about the same. I think the lugs look to be everything looks to be about the same. It's just, next generation up. And this one is a meteorite stainless steel with the black bezel insert. Again, beautifully done bezel. Very vocal, nice and smooth. No slop. This one has a somewhat rare ETA movement in it. I think there were only 30 of these. I think it says that right there. Focus. 30. Yeah. So, somewhat hard to get. I want to say my friend John sold me this one. I don't exactly remember. I think it was my buddy John. But very nice example and wicked accurate timekeeping with the ETA movement. As opposed to the others of that vintage Hammerheads that came with Seiko movements. There's nothing wrong with the Seiko movement. It's just that the ETAs were more expensive and there weren't many of them. Next, I have another second generation Hammerhead. Now, this one I think is one of the most underrated and underappreciated Zelos watches ever, and that's the Hammerhead chronograph. it's a thick watch. I mean, even compared to the second generation standard, you can see the extra thickness in the case. This is probably the thickest watch I own now that I sold my Abyss 3 a few months ago. I think this is probably the thickest watch I have at about 18.5, 19 millimeter. And it's a beast to wear. It really is. But it's actually very comfortable if you have the wrist for it. And of course, it's a full 1,000-meter rated chronograph. These chronograph pushers are screw-down pushers. You have to unscrew them and make sure that that's flush before they'll work. And if you screw them down, which is not terribly difficult to do, like that, and now they don't work. But you do get your 1,000-meter water resistance. Great watch. I know they're all sold out now, but it took a while for them to all sell out. And like I said, I think the Hammerhead chronograph is one of the more underappreciated watches that Zelos ever made. Now, when the Gen 3s came out, they originally came out in standard stainless steel or bronze, different colorways. I even had an orange one in stainless steel, which I recently sold to somebody else. They're loving it. They were downsized a little bit, and they are 300-meter divers. They're, I mean, if you look at, say, this one in comparison to a Gen 2, you can see it's a lot thinner and a lot less heavy than the Gen 1s, and the crystal is not quite as thick and everything, but still fully capable watches. After the Hammerheads came out, I don't remember whether the bronze versions of the Hammerhead 3 came out before or after these watches, but Elshin did a limited run of, I think it totaled up to about 170 watches total of Hammerheads with special metal work in them. The Damascus, the crystallized titanium, and the tantalum. Now, this one is the Damascus. It's a Damascus metal, which means that, you know, the metal is folded and over and over again until you get these very unique striations or tiger stripes or whatever you want to call them in the metal. They only made 100 of these, and this one, you know, with the meteorite dial, it uses Seiko movement. Hammerhead artwork on the back, which is more 3D and pronounced than the first generation ones. And it came on this beautiful FKM rubber. Well, no, this one didn't come with its rubber strap. Unfortunately, the guy I bought it from. And this one has a unique story to it. So if you want to go look up the video on this guy, there was a really kind of semi-traumatic story behind acquiring the thing. It had nothing to do with the seller, who was great. It had everything to do with PayPal. It was a nightmare. But we got it done, obviously. I have the watch. He has his money. Everybody's happy. But it did not come with the FKM rubber strap that it came with. I've got this paired up with a Rishi RITCHE rubber strap that I've been buying off of Amazon. Not sponsored. They don't know I'm saying anything about it. Which works very well. But really a nice watch. Very lightweight, very easy to wear. Next to it, I have the crystallized titanium that, despite the way it looks like it was cut out of a hunk of rock. It's smooth to the touch. But it's a process that enhances the crystalline structure of the titanium and makes it pop out and more visible. I don't know how they do it, I know better than to ask. And this comes with the FKM strap that Zelos provides. And they only made 50 of these. Blue dial, crystalline titanium case. Beautiful watch. Love that one. And finally, the heavyweight. This thing weighs more than these guys do. This is one of 20 Hammerhead 3s made in tantalum, which is a very, very, very dense, heavy metal that's used mostly in electronics and medical instruments. It's not really something that you see watches made out of, although I did note in the video I did for this, there are other manufacturers that have done tantalum. But Zelos has really embraced tantalum, but they don't make a lot of them when they make tantalum watches. I think their first stab at tantalum was a swordfish. Yeah, swordfish. They only made 5. Would love to get my hands on one of those someday, but that's down the line. And also came with its original FKM strap. This has sort of a anthracite slate gray dial to it. It has kind of a sand texture to it. Very nice watch. Despite the fact that it weighs a lot, it's actually very easy to wear. Very wearable watch. And I was felt very fortunate to acquire these 3 watches as sort of a set of the special edition Hammerhead 3s that came out. So very happy with that. But anyway, that's my ZX. I did it again. My Hammerhead collection of all my Zelos Hammerheads. Got 8 of them. When the Hammerhead 4 comes out, which is probably inevitable, I will probably grab 1 or 2 of those as well because I love the look of the Hammerhead. It wears well. It looks great. Definitely a favorite. And like I said, it was the lineup that really put Zelos on the map for most people and helped them break away and establish themselves as somewhat above the rest of the micro brand space. And like I said, if you want to learn more about each individual watch, there are individual videos, pardon me again, detailed videos on my channel. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it to be entertaining and informative and useful. If you did, please click that thumbs up for me. That does help with YouTube search algorithms and helps bring people to the channel. And that's a good thing. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to try and troll me, or you're going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I am simply going to delete the comment and block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I have many, many videos. I hope you will take the time to watch many, many of them. All I ask in return is that you click that red subscribe button. If you're not new to the channel but you haven't subscribed yet, please click the red subscribe button. Help me grow the channel. Don't forget to click the bell icon too, so that when I upload new material or I do a live stream, you will be alerted. Meanwhile, as I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy old world out there. It is not getting any less crazy, so please be careful out there. Stay safe, be well. See you soon.